survive poisoned productions.
Hey guys, man, it has been a motherfucking minute! I feel like it's been so long since I've just like sat down and chatted with you and just like had a little conversation, you know what I mean? I feel like we've just been doing a lot of vlogs lately, and I really just wanted to get back into just kind of getting ready together, talking about stuff that's on our minds, things like that. But yeah, I thought I would go over primers today. That might sound like a weird topic, but I feel like it's like trending now to be like, I don't know if primers do anything, or primers don't do anything, or I can never tell if like primers do stuff. And like, I just think that that is like a silly thing to say, because a lot of primers will tell you like the point of them or not, and because primers are a very like technical thing, you know, it's not like foundation. When you put foundation on, you can clearly tell a difference between where you put foundation on and where you don't, whereas if you add a primer, it's more helping like the technical side of things, like it helps your makeup go on smoother or last longer or color corrects or whatever, which is sometimes a bit more harder to gauge. But I thought I would just show you guys the primer I'm using right now and how it obviously works for me, and yeah, we could just debunk that little trending mystery that, oh, I didn't have my light on, trending mystery that's happening right now. I look like a train wreck because I did a fantasy makeup look last night and then a fantasy makeup look this morning, and so I literally just before I filmed had to wipe like yellow off my ears, so if you see any like weird painting that's still kind of on me somewhere, just don't judge too harshly. You can still judge, just maybe back it up a little bit, you know what I mean? But yeah, let's just jump right into it, guys. Okay, so the first step I do before I apply any primer is put on some face lotion. Yes, I am aware I need to get more, and you can keep those freaking opinions to yourself. So yeah, I just like do a little dollop on my, dollop, such a weird word, on my finger, rub it into my hands, and then rub that into my face. And if you have any extra, just run it down your neck. I really just like to get everywhere, massage my ears. This is just to get any dry spots and just to like make your skin feel like that really plump, like kind of almost sticky texture. I really just like this because it kind of wakes me up too in the morning, just being like, ah, you know what I mean? Ooh, I have moved makeup all over. Like I said, this black is from like the, there we go. Is there any more? I don't think so. The black is from the previous makeup look that I did this morning. I'm not sure which video will come out first, so I don't really want to say too much about that. But yeah, I am kind of slowly doing more like fantasy looks that like take longer to prepare for but then are shorter to film for, and I don't think I'll be doing tutorials for them because like that's just not really what you guys are into, and that's totally okay if you guys don't want to watch tutorials. I honestly a lot of the time don't watch tutorials for fantasy makeup looks. I'll just watch that really short like intro clip, and so I think that's what I'm going to do for these, is just make them really cool like intro clips and then just leave it at that. Like don't go into a tutorial, don't do anything else, just have it like a fun little skit that shows you the makeup, and like that's about it. So I'm excited about that. Now I'm going to zoom you guys in so we can kind of do like a bit of comparison for the primer that I use. I used to use this e.l.f. hydrating primer. I was too lazy to go to Walmart and get another one because this one is like literally, oh. It was empty. Last time I tried to use it, girl. Why you gotta play me like that? Anyways, might be, I'm not even sure, sort of empty, basically empty, not really sure. And it's a blurring primer, and so it's very noticeable to me, especially in my porous areas like here and then a little bit on my forehead. yeah, to see a difference, because it'll be like completely blurred and then completely texturized. But the one that I thought I would try out is the one that everyone like raved about a really long time ago, and I'm like super late to get on the bandwagon, which I'm sure is shocking to no one, is the Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser. Now this is supposed to be like a dupe for the Benefit Professional whatever BS. I would never pay that much money for a primer. I'm gonna be completely honest. I would pay that much money for a foundation. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But just throughout my trials, I found that lower end primers do work just as well as high end ones. So yeah, I'm gonna zoom you in and we can hopefully see a bit of texture difference. This one does blur. It doesn't blur as well as my e.l.f. one, I don't believe, but it also doesn't smell like Play-Doh. This one smells like Play-Doh, and I'm not a huge fan of that. Maybe you are, but yeah, let's just zoom you guys in and get nice and friendly. Do you feel uncomfortably close? Because I feel uncomfortably close. I feel like we're still not close enough, but as you can see, I do have like some texture around here. I just always have, always will. Now this primer is completely clear. That's what it looks like. I'm gonna put it on this side of my face and hopefully you can see how it like really just kind of like blurs those little dots of like the little dots of the pores, obviously, but it just really like blurs them. And so I'm hoping you can at least see that on this. And that causes my foundation to go on smoother because it doesn't have to sink between all the different little pores on my face and stuff like that. Now, the dollop that I had on my finger I would normally do over my whole face, but I just wanted to do one side to kind of show that it does blur a little bit. And yeah, I just really like a completely smoothed palette for my foundation to go on. I'm just continuing it down here. So I hope you could at least see like it smoothed this out a little bit. I'm not sure, my camera can't zoom in like that much, so this portion might be completely useless, but you know. Let's see if there's, sorry about my elbow. Let's see if there's any more in this e.l.f. primer. Come on, you just like squirted at us 5 minutes ago. You can do it, you can do it, you can do it. Oh, there's like this weird like chunky, okay, whatever. Maybe this will work. Let's see. See, you can tell there's a difference between where I have it on and where I don't. Like, it definitely also is a really good blurring foundation, or primer, sorry. So what blurring primers do is they basically just soften the look of your skin, and they fill in the little gaps between your pores so that your foundation can go on very smoothly and yeah, just apply a lot better. Now that we're out of no man's land, I'm gonna add a little bit more of the baby primer to the other side of my face and then apply my foundation. So one thing I really noticed with having primers is that my foundation A, applies better, and B, doesn't like dry out and show my pores as much because there is this layer that's getting in between all my little pores and making it a flatter surface. Now it depends what kind of primer you're getting. If you get a blurring one, which is what I have, it will do this like smoothing the skin thing. But if you get a like a color correcting one, it will have like a green tinge to it, which would help you cover any redness, like the redness on my cheeks. The e.l.f. one is technically a hydrating face primer, so it also locks in a lot of moisture on my face. So basically it's like adding a moisturizer, but this one also just happens to blur the skin too. I'm not sure if they meant to do that or if that was just like a happy accident, but this one definitely blurs a lot. Plus adding that little bit of extra hydration into your skin, because my fucking skin is just super fucking dry. Now one foundation that I really noticed a difference with adding primer and with not adding primer is the Marc Jacobs This is like basically empty. I bought this quite a while ago now, and I love it. I love full coverage everything. But this one works a lot better if you have just a little bit of like a hydrating primer or a blurring primer, something underneath that just helps the foundation smooth out a bit, because I find if you don't, it's really easy to get like caught up on your dry spots or like settle in your creases. And I find if you add primers, because like your creases are more moisturized, they're less likely to just crease there, if that makes sense. I don't know. I don't know if it does, but it does in my mind. So now I'm going to apply my regular foundation that I'm using right now, which is the infallible? That's such a weird word. Why would you call it that? You're setting me up for a fail, L'Oreal. Goddamn. The Infallible Pro Glow. Now, for some reason, when I first bought this, absolutely loved it. The second time I got it, it's got these like dry, chunky kind of bits in it. And so I don't know if I just bought a bad one the second time, or if, since I'm using it with a beauty blender rather than a brush when I did last time, I'm noticing the chunky bits more. I'm not really sure. I still really like the foundation. It's just like one of those things that makes you go, what is going on there? So I'm just going to pour a little bit out there and get my beauty blender, and then I'm just gonna work, bitch, work. I apply foundation to the top half of my face first because I like to do my eyebrows first, and then after that I will go in with more foundation on the bottom half of my face, and then concealer and set it and all that stuff, but I really like to get like the top half of my face done first. And yeah, the foundation is just like patting right on, no problems. And I also attribute that to the primer I've added before, especially around my nose. If you have like a problematic nose area, which a lot of people do, it's when like foundation doesn't want to stick here, because like noses are weird. I don't know if they're just extra dry or whatever, so foundation doesn't want to hang out there, but adding a little bit of primer to your nose area too will help lock in that coverage if you need it. Okay, so I'm just going to do the rest of my makeup off camera, because I don't think we need to go through all those steps when we just wanted to talk about the primer. And yeah, we'll reconvene in a minute, honey. In a minute, hunty. So this is the makeup look I went for. You might see this in another video because I might be filming multiple videos today. You know that filming schedule, girl. Also, let me know how you feel about these eyelashes. They're the Ardell Doubles in 205. Oh, here we go. 203, sorry. You can't fucking see that. Anyways, in 203, I thought they were the same as the eyelashes I got last time, but they're actually quite different. They're definitely more dramatic, but honestly, I'm kind of living for it. You know what I mean? If I'm gonna put on false eyelashes, like, I'm going to put on false eyelashes. I don't want you to be like, oh my god, do you think those are real lashes? I want you to be like, oh no, those eyelashes are causing like a wind tornado business every time she blinks. Like, those are not her real. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean. Anyways, guys, yeah, so looking at my makeup now, don't look at any of the powdery portions like the highlight or the contour, but right in here where it's like the concealer and the foundation is sitting really well, because what I do is a primer and then foundation, and then I set it with a powder. And sometimes if you just do foundation and then set it with a powder, my face at least creases a lot sooner than it usually does if I put a primer underneath, because a primer isn't the same consistency as a moisturizer. It is a little bit more silicone-y, at least the ones that I use, and so I feel like it keeps that moisture underneath the powder a lot better, which causes it to last, like my makeup to last a lot longer and crease less, if that makes any sense. But for me personally, I know I've been on that bandwagon before where I'm like, I can't tell if primers do anything, and for some reason it's like now on YouTube it's like a trend. I've seen like multiple higher, like bigger names in the beauty community be like, I can't tell if a primer does anything, but like multiple of them, and I'm just like, are you guys all deciding that this is a new trend that's happening? Like, hashtag what are primers? Like, I used to be there, but now I can genuinely tell you that the primers that I've been using recently, I can tell that they make a difference. Because like I said, I ran out of this e.l.f. primer and I went a couple days without using it, or any type of primer, and I can tell you that I physically noticed that my makeup sat it didn't last as long. Like, it would crease earlier and it just looked drier. I think when you have that barrier of like the silicone-y kind of primer between your skin and the foundation and powder, it really makes the makeup last longer. You just crease less and you look less just dry in general. In my personal opinion, and that's my personal, I have very dry skin, so I have to like take all the precautions to make sure it doesn't look dry. But yeah, I just thought I would do this kind of quick little video to kind of like debunk those like primers don't do anything quotes, because I've personally found that the ones that I use do something. I hate when I say do, because I say it all the time and I'm just like, what is a sentence? What is a sentence? I don't even know. But yeah, I just thought I would debunk some of those, because I've found that the primers that I've used have made a difference for my skin, and I don't want you guys to feel like, oh, they're just a waste of money, when I personally think they're one of the best things you can get for your makeup routine, because they do really help keep that moisture layer underneath the foundation and the powder, so that your face doesn't crease and doesn't look so dry throughout the day. Like, I genuinely believe that. So that's just a little quick tip from me. Let me know in the comments below any primers that you guys use. I'm always on the market for like new and delicious makeup. And give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!
Try it if you think you'll survive. Poisoned Production.